Wow, it's been like a month. No, not a month. It's been over 3 months since I tried on my mother's wedding gown, and I really want to go grab it and take a closer look at the details of it. And I just want to get those close-up shots and kind of examine it a little bit before we get rid of it. I don't know, it's so fun and so elaborate and so totally opposite of my style. So I'm gonna go grab that now, and we're just gonna see it in all of its glory. Hi guys, welcome back to another video. I am trying on my mother's wedding dress in this video, and I'm so excited to finally be uploading it. My parents are divorced now, and this dress is getting donated immediately. So I don't know, I thought it was fun, and I told my dad we were doing it too, and he thought it was a cute, funny idea. So the way they preserve these dresses was in these big boxes, and my mom's dress, she found hers in the attic. It's just a big white box. It says "My Wedding Gown" on the top, and then it has some information and details on the back of the people that put it together and preserved it for her.
Yes, they were.
Ooh, what a pretty box.
Yeah. You've never opened it.
I've never seen
You're going to open it and find out, hey, this is my gown.
I know.
Oh my gosh. They usually will say to keep it out of sunlight and keep it in a dry place to preserve the fabric, because, you know, fabric is biodegradable. It'll start to deteriorate and break down if it's not preserved correctly. So I thought that was interesting that it said that on the back, because they know that these gowns are supposed to be preserved for a long period of time. So they are just trying to keep extra precautions to preserve it. I thought it was also interesting that they had a flap to go over it, and that's to, again, protect it from any sun damage, because there's a little window panel in the front where you can see the front of the gown. So when we first turned open the box, our first impression was that, wow.
It's very elaborate. Yeah. This is so funny, actually.
Oh my god.
So it was sealed really nicely with some white tape, so we had to take that off from around the border to be able to access the contents of the box.
So why didn't you want this displayed throughout the house? I could display it. Look, it's got a plastic.
Whoa! Okay.
Okay,
we go, fuzzy sleeves.
Oh, that.
Vintage.
Calling your mom vintage.
You are vintage, Mom.
Oh, yeah, there's the veil.
Right away, we found the veil. It had a big gaudy bow on the top.
Aw, bow. Aw. Oh, I can deal with that.
That's super cute.
Aw, the bow.
Maybe you could even change the bow if you don't like the bow.
Actually was kind of smelly. Like, it smelled like old person.
Smells like old person. Might need to be washed, that's all.
Ooh.
I like this part of it.
Yeah. That's
I think
perfect.
you could change out the bow, maybe.
I ended up using the veil for my own wedding, and I did take the bow off, but and they were able to steam out any wrinkles and stuff, but I thought that was funny that we found the bow almost right away. It was preserved in there under sheets of tissue paper.
It does kind of have
Dear
smell.
Evie, you're
Yeah.
Doesn't it
Yeah.
smell?
I can
I
smell
want
it,
to see it.
The bow's funny.
I know.
There was a lot of stuffing in this gown. This is a big gown. This is to preserve the sleeves and the body of it so it doesn't get smushed and wrinkled. But there was so much stuffing that it seemed like it was never ending.
Yeah.
That's like the perfect
They
veil.
stuffed it like.
To the broom.
Tracy's you. You were totally going
I
for
know.
You were going for the Princess Diana.
Oh, for sure.
the dress had a really heavy weight to it, which made me wonder like how they wore all this fabric. Actually, it was a lot of fabric. Let me call my mom and ask her.
Hello?
Hello? When you bought your wedding dress, how much was it?
I feel like it was like 600 or 800 some dollars, I think. I think it was like 800. It might have even been more than that.
And do you remember like which magazine you got it out of? Or like that you saw it in?
I just remember it was a bridal magazine. I have no idea.
Oh.
I weighed like 114
Oh my
pounds.
god, this is
right
heavy. I know, I told you.
The
My
dress
dress
is
is like
huge.
see-through and light. This is like 30 pounds of fabric.
And plus the bow matches.
Oh my
the dress.
god. This is a look.
Before this, I feel like I belong in a Renaissance.
The Renaissance.
As soon as I put it on, I totally had Renaissance-esque feelings in it. When I put it on, it reminded me of, I keep looking, it's hanging up right there, so I keep looking at it as I'm talking about it.
I feel like I need to go back in time. This is like a Renaissance dress.
Yeah.
In school, we always learned about the different layers and what they were called underneath all the clothes, and how they made them so poofy, and like what the little humps on the sides are called or in the back, and like what the materials they used to make it get that shape. And so when I put this on, I just immediately thought back to my fashion history class and how we learned about like the Renaissance era, and how they had those big petticoats, and I don't know, I just thought it was like very Renaissance-esque.
That's
Look
awesome.
at me.
Oh, I love that
You're
train.
so 80s right Wow.
It actually looks adorable. I
That's so funny.
I really like that.
So my mom and dad, I think they got married in like 1994 or like in the early 90s. So it's really interesting because in the 80s, this is the kind of dress they would wear. It was really inspired by Princess Diana. But in the 90s, it kind of was opposite and was more like sleek and slimmer and had a more of like a simple silhouette. So I don't know, maybe early 90s. So it was still kind of in that in-between phase of like 80s and 90s. But the big puffy sleeves were huge in the 80s, as you all know. Like everyone had the big hair and the big shoulders and everything. So I'm not surprised by that. And actually in the 90s, weddings were getting more and more popular and more of a cultural American thing. There was a lot of movies that came out during this time. 4 Weddings and a Funeral came out in 1994. In 1997, My Best Friend's Wedding came out, and The Runaway Bride came out in 1999. So it was really becoming consumed by pop culture, and ultimately like that leads down to the everyday person that also is like, you know, taking after pop culture.
When you were...
Oompa
Let Luke see you in this one. Luke, look at her in my wedding dress. I also had one of those things underneath
The
to
hoop
make
gun,
it
yeah.
poofy.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
Right.
Whose wedding dress is this?
Who do That's mine.
You're gonna wear that to the wedding?
No,
Yeah, Mom, you should wear this to my wedding.
I will.
My mom, in my previous dress where I picked out my wedding dress, she had suggested wearing a white dress. So, you know what? I think that'd be a great idea. If she wore this one.
I'm gonna try it on.
You said she can't wear white.
That's not.
She can only wear white if she wears
It's
this.
kind of an off-white now.
Okay, don't tempt me because I might show up. Can I?
Oh, you got us in the picture too.
I know.
How did you
It
even
looks
dance
better.
in this?
It was better when it had the thing. Oh, there we go. Boom.
The veil with the big bow and like the trimming. I mean, the bow, I wore the veil to my actual wedding without the bow on it, but the bow just like topped it all off. But it seemed like a really big bow, but when you think about how big she did her hair back then, the bow probably didn't seem like super huge.
I feel like a doll.
I'm gonna send this to Mike. Here it is. This is the dress.
Trying to say this is the one we picked.
This dress had an enormously long train. You could take someone out with this train. It was long.
I love this train.
He's gonna love it because he loves that whole look. I
Like,
can just hear him.
actually, so when I had the thing, it poofed out.
The train was actually really interesting because after the fact, I took a closer look at it and I wanted to see how the hem connected to the train and like how was it just in a straight even line, and it had a very interesting angle to it. It was almost like it just like it was there. It wasn't there and then it was there. So although the dress was not in mint condition,
Uh-oh.
Like that.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I probably dropped spaghetti on her or something that night.
Yeah.
it was certainly entertaining to wear, and I had a really fun bonding experience with my mom, my mother-in-law, and my stepdaughter. So it was overall a really funny and sweet moment.
If you get hungry.
So you tried this on and you're like, this is it.
I saw it in a magazine, and I was like, I'm buying her dress. And that's what I bought.
What great choice. What?
Whatever.
Oh my god. The most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. Oh, that is great.
But it was not over. Oh no. My mother also wanted to try to fit into the dress. Yeah, first you want to come here and say any comments about your wedding gown?
Really?
Yeah, you're not in the frame. You gotta scoot closer. Mom, stop. You're messing it all up.
What was that bow? It won't, I can't step out of the back.
You probably didn't have boobs back then.
I did not have boobs.
Well, I found that dress the night I got engaged. My friend, I was at her house studying, and her sister had a bunch of bridal magazines, so I was flipping through the magazines and I found this dress and I was like, that is the dress. So that's the dress I picked.
He loves it. Mike loves it. He's like, it looks great.
Are you
I'm
serious?
serious. He's like loving it.
That's funny.
So you didn't have it off the shoulders. You put it on the shoulders.
Well, she can't get it up.
Oh, I see. It actually looks better.
I really like it off the side.
Off the side, it looks really
See?
cute.
And I also had to unsnap this because I couldn't get my wrist in there.
That looks like a 1980s dress. So, but you got married in 1994?
Thanks a lot.
What? It does. Does it not?
The early 90s were sort of like the 80s. I wanted a big princess dress. So that's what I got.
Did you want to look like Princess Diana?
No, she died. I just wanted to be the awesome me that I am.
Oh, the point at the wrist.
I got the V too.
You got 3 V's. V, V, V.
And
V. And then the shoulder.
Whatever, Ashlyn. You're so dumb.
Anyway, but I'm actually not feeling sentimental about the dress or anything, so when it gets donated, it's all cool.
You don't want to keep the sleeves for like a outfit or something?
No, but I'll let you do something with them. I think they'd look good on you.
So all in all, this dress had so many layers and tulle, had a long train, a lot of lacy fabric. It had some really cute little button details with some pearls and some little fake diamonds around it. little pearl details along the sleeves with some pleats, and then also with the like, everything came to a little point somewhere, which I thought was also kind of interesting. The sleeves came to a point, the front came to the point, there was a little V situation up at the neckline. It was like a squared neckline, but then it had a little V in there too. And I just had a really fun time doing this. So give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed watching it. I'm out here living my best life, having fun. You live your best life too, and I will see you on the next video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye guys.